Hi, how you doing? Welcome back to Smoking Cheltenham. Hope you're good. Hope you're keeping warm. It's been cold, hasn't it? Yeah, back in conservatory today. It's not warm in here. I've got my big Sherpa thing on, t-shirt underneath, coffee. You know. Um, we've not got many races to cover this week. There's not been a whole lot on, has there? But we've got a few races to cover. But don't worry, you're still going to need your flask. We've got loads to talk about. We have. We're only like 8 weeks away or something now, aren't we? Something like that. So there's been plenty of news and entries. We're going to have a chat about some of the DRF races and kind of use that as a prism to look at some of the Cheltenham races again. We've got 4 bets for you today. We're having 4 ante-post bets for Cheltenham. We're not smashing into anything, they're just sort of bits and pieces we're having on. Okay, and they're like 7 to 1, 12 to 1, 14 to 1, and 33 to 1. So they'll just fall in as we go through. Um, and yeah, so yeah, you're going to need a flask, you are. Right then, so yeah, we'll cover the few races. I think we've got 4 to chat about. Uh, Fairy House on Saturday, the game was soft on the hurdles track. It was yielding to soft in places. Yeah, 2 mile, 2.5 mares maiden hurdle, 6.5 beat Qualameter 12 here with Kimi de May, Kimi de Mai, nearly another 4 lengths back in third. Right, Qualameter led initially at a kind of slow pace, but from around the second went on at a good clip. 6.5 settled in fifth. The first 5 were kind of clear of the rest. Yeah, she were a bit novice, 6.5 early on, but got better through the race. And over the kind of fourth, fifth, and sixth, she threw in a couple of good leaps at them 3, and she moved into second place. She weren't great 3 out, and was shaken up soon after that. The response were fairly instant, and she ranged up sides Qualameter, and they were well clear of Committee May at this point. Turning for home, Qualameter came under pressure, and 6.5 was upsides, travelling well. She was eased to the front on the approach to 2 out, just flicked through the top of that, asked to go and win a race, and quickly went clear. She pinged the last and coasted home for an impressive victory. Yeah, she's interesting, she is. She's come a long way in a short space of time. She didn't make a racecourse debut until March last year, so she's only been racing under rules for less than a year. And on that occasion, she was runner up to Familiar Dreams in a mare's bumper. She then went on to Punchestown and took a bumper out impressively by 11 lengths. Pardon me, I am kind of dying of cold, so you'll have to bear with me. Let's go, okay. Finally succumbed like everyone else has had it, and yeah, it's my turn now. She went, yeah, she went racing on the flat, didn't she? And she quickly made up into a 94 rated performer in kind of staying races. Right, yeah, she's been given a nice break since September, and here we are. She's only 5, but she's kind of got a nice amount of race toughness now into her after that flat campaign. Won't bother me personally if she goes straight to the mares or if he finds something in between in a few weeks. She's got that bit of experience from the Platte now, hasn't she? She's clearly a rapidly improving mare, and you know there's plenty more improvement to come. She's done Qualimeter 12 here, who ran Baby Kate to 2, you know, previously with Caroline Bamboo and Belle the Tigress in between. Kimmy DeMay were well fancied from Willie's Yard, sent off a shade at odds on here. Beat over 15 length. I'd say the form looks strong, you know. She clearly stays very well. The hill will hold no fears to her. But, you know, this ran at a good clip from a fair way out, and she travelled well off the strong pace, so she doesn't look slow. I'm sorry. Yeah, you know, Gavin's good at Cheltenham, isn't he? He's, you know, he's having winners every year now, really, and he's got a nice touch with the ladies, hasn't he? He won there with Limerick Lace last year. Oh, I hear. Maybe a smoke will help, that. Sorry. Look, yeah, we're back in this girl. We're having 2 points on her at a general 7-1. And it's a strong 2 points as well. I've had a little bit more on than that, but I've done it with 365, so I can kind of scale it back if I like. I don't think she's going to get to a bigger price than that. I think she'll only go one way. Now, we'll have the 2 points here. It's a nice sort of cover bet, and one we can build on if she becomes our main selection. Yeah, I like this a lot. I thought this was impressive. Now, you know, we have to consider Willie, don't we? He's got a few mares to come out yet. Maureen in particular. Just a general note with Willie, he were particularly late to get going this year due to the ground, and he's only just clicking into gear now. He's just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger now, isn't he? But due to this late start, I'd say he'll have plenty of novices out over the next few weeks that are going to sort of shake things up a little, and Maureen could well be one of them. But whatever, I mean, even if Maureen comes out and does a fair impression of Faheen and goes into 6-4 favourite, you know, she's not going to get pushed out, this girl, to like 8s and 10s. I think she'll go in there sort of second favourite at the worst, I think. So I think that 7-1 will shorten up kind of steadily, you know. I could see her going off sort of maybe somewhere between sort of around the 7-2, 4-1 mark on the day. Maybe shorter than that, depending what Willie's got, like, you know. Yeah, and yeah, that's that really. Just about got through that. Yeah, I thought she was good anyway. I did. I were impressed with this. She's not big, is she? But she looks kind of tough. And yeah, I think she'll be well suited to that race. I think last year were a bit of an outlier in that they went no pace, did they? I think the big horses, you know, you sort of Brighter Days Ahead and J Degrees, you kind of scared a lot off, didn't they? So it was smaller field than usual. They didn't go much pace, but generally you want a kind of strong stare in that race, and she's got that. But yeah, she's still got the pace to travel as well. Watching her here, you can kind of ride it anywhere you want as well. Traditionally, you want it to be held back quite a way in that race, but yeah, you can just put where he wants in the race. A soldier on, eh? That's me done for coffee, no flask. Okay. So yeah, that's the first row bets anyway. Apologies. So we've got 2 points, 7-1 generally. Yeah, I think that's more than fair. I thought this were impressive. Most impressive mare I've seen in the novice division this season for me. Right, 2 mile 1 beginners. Mr. Gift beat Tully Hill. Nearly 2 length here. Asian Master another 5.5 length back in third. I'm not going into much depth on this one. I think it's kind of got limited significance for Cheltenham. Toll Forest, yeah, Mr. Gift took this out. Only bet I had this weekend, sorry, you know, but away with the wife this weekend, so I didn't get too much into it, but I did bet this guy. I only watched this race and the one before that we've just been chatting about all weekend. Until Sunday anyway. On Saturday they're the only 2 I watched. I didn't think he would trying early, to be honest. I thought, I'm an odd trier here. He jumped well in the main, he's going to make a better chaser. I'd imagine he'll go Arkle, but you know, you look at like Sergino and no, you know, but I like him. Tully Hill Asian Master. Yeah, they could be better up in trip, you know, if you get Pro Jockey and Asian Master, could improve for that. They're not looking like grade 1 horses at the minute though, are they, you know. So then Sunday, Punchestown, going with soft heavy in places. 2 mile 3.5 novice chase. Lecky Watson beat down Memory Lane 8 here in the end. Sorry. Yeah, he led. He led. He's got a good leap in him, hasn't he? But he made a proper mess of the ones he kind of got close to. Good learn in that respect. Could go Browns. He's a contender for that 16-1 best price. Not for me personally. You know, you couldn't be putting a line through him, but just for me, it won't be for me in that race. And I very much doubt he'll be for Paul either. I think he'll have a lot of options in that race. Down Memory Lane. 6-4 here, he went off at on this ground, you know. They said he hated the ground last time. You know, consistently said he don't like soft ground, and he got punted into 6-4 despite the ground. I'd give him a chance on better ground. You know, I think you see a better horse, but in terms of Cheltenham this year, I don't think so. The English gave him 149 when he went to Sandown, so he's off a stiff enough mark if they wanted to go. He's had his 3 runs now. Possibility, I suppose, for that 2.5 mile novice handicap, but he's going to be on a stiff enough mark for it. I think JP might have some better options for that. We'll see. Right then, and then yeah, the 2 mile one, Grade 2 Moscow Flyer. Salvatore Monday beat Cheltenham at 3 here. I'm not really going to break down this race into great detail, but safe to say Salvatore Monday did everything wrong and won well. Pulled like a train, didn't he, early on? Flew the first, he did. But then, if you remember what Paul said with Losimouth that day when she beat Teapot, she was just keen and fresh. She made that bad mistake, didn't she? He blamed himself. He said he put her in close to it to get her to pop and sort of take that freshness out of her, which kind of worked for Losimouth. It didn't work with this fella though. He's a big, strong thing, isn't he? But basically, that's what Paul kept doing here. He kept putting him in close, get him to pop and try and take that, trying to get him to drop the bit, but he just wouldn't. When he did want a good jump too hard, he got in close and kind of popped it again. I think the horse had just got in his head, that's what we're doing, Just kind of put him on the back foot. He made his ground up when the pace was at its hottest on the turn for home. Made up the 5 or so he were behind in there. He swept past them all on the approach to the last. Fluffed that. It's about 1 up there. He pulled out another couple on the run-in. Now, that he could finish his race off in the style he did after wasting so much energy through the race, I'd suggest speaks volumes about the ability he has. It's always hard to tell with kind of unexposed novices, how good the form is, but certainly Skylord and Killistoyer had sort of grade 1 potential beforehand. They win that sort of list of 10 we chatted about last week. They may just be handicappers, you don't really know. Time will tell. But it did look a decent contest, I thought, beforehand with those two in it. Now, he's jumping, unlike, say, Jasmine DeVoe and Kopek de Boards, who were making the hurdles debut, we've already seen this fella that he can jump fine. In fact, yeah, he flew the first and made ground there. We've seen him jump round before fine. He's jumping here with the result of Paul putting him in close, trying to get him to drop the bit a bit. I'd say a more concern is his keenness, He's going to have to relax more than this to be winning a Supreme, you'd have thought. I'm just looking at that race, work ahead. He's going straight there, isn't he, for Henry? He's, the way he won last time, just right now, it's hard to say, but just right now, you'd think he might be likely to take them along. But he wouldn't be wanting to kind of set the race up, for anybody. I'd imagine he'll try and slow it down and get a breather in at some point. I'd say Team Mullins could really do with taking a leaf out of Team Elliott's book here, with the Brighter Days Ahead race at Christmas. Or even going back to Supreme, I think John Bond were a little bit sacrificed for Constitution Hill. It could do with running a pacemaker in here for Monday. I don't think they want to lead, they just want to get him to relax. So he could do with a really fast pace and sort of just track him through in sort of third or so, I'd say. What we do have here It's very unusual though, you know, for the Supreme, for Willie. I think he's pretty much nailed on this fella. Whatever happens in Dublin, and we'll chat about that in a bit, I think Salvatore Mundi will go Supreme, and he's going to go there as number one, and Paul's going to be on him, you know. Yeah, really unusual that you could say that at this stage of the season. But I can't see them going Ballymore with this fella, you know, not the way he races. He's going to be Supreme. He's fairly 100% sure he's going to be Supreme as Willie's number one. Sorry. He's clearly got the engine, the raw ability. It's just a question of getting him to relax enough. He's 7-2 now. I'd say that's fair, you know. Could see him going off anywhere between sort of 7-4 and sort of 9-2, just sort of depending how the field shapes up and what happens in Dublin, you know. Right. It's not the smoking, it's not. Oh dear, this is disastrous, isn't it? I do apologise, I do. Like Kelly Stoyer, yeah, stayed on nice. He kind of got chopped a little bit for him, didn't he, by the winner. Just stayed on nicely on the run-in. But, you know, Salvatore Mundi's giving him race fitness here. He's done everything wrong and still put him away by 3. I'd expect he'd put this horse away by a lot further next time. As such, he could well end up getting pushed up to the Ballymore, but much will depend on how Kay Doherty performs in Dublin. You know, JP does have the favourite there, doesn't he, for the Ballymore, but that's not Mark's ride, is it? So if Kay Doherty comes through Dublin well and looks a big Supreme contender, then this fella may well get pushed up to Ballymore. If not, if Kay Doherty disappoints, they might think, well, they're 3 lengths off the favourite here, we'll get another whirl at Cheltenham, you know. So I think where Kelly Stoyer goes much depends on how Kay Doherty performs in Dublin, I'd say. But the way he stayed on after the last, you wouldn't mind him going up in trip here and say, if you remember last year, Ballyburn, didn't he slammed Slade Steel and they took out both races. So, you know, if Salvatore Mundi were to take out the Supreme good style and Kelly Stoyer was in the Ballymore, you know, you could give him a big chance in that race, maybe, you know. Right, so yeah, that's a nice result for us that anyway. If you, I know there's plenty of people on it, there's plenty of ramblers, all those ramblers around this fellow at double figures, and we'll have a bit more of a chat about the Supreme in a bit when we get chatting about Dublin. Okay. Right. On to the news then. Just a few bits of news. Just following on from last week's video, I was saying Super Sunday, weren't I, for the Martin Pipe. Problem with that, we've got a little problem with that now. You know, it would be 8 length by 142 rated horse going into the race. I was thinking going to get like 137, 138 here, maybe 139. It's been given a rating of 142, you know, which might more or less rule the pipe out, because with, you know, it's got a 145 ceiling, hasn't it, and with the sort of Irish tax on top, it'd be borderline to getting off the 142. So maybe it might go more the Ballymore route now. They could enter him still for the pipe and the Coral Cup as, you know, backup if he just goes over the ceiling there, which is probably likely to. You never know though. I mean, the horse that won the Kimio last year, I don't know how he got in that race, so it can happen, but he's probably likely to get 146, 147. So if they wanted to go the handicap route, that would maybe be the Coral Cup then, wouldn't it? And quite bizarrely, a horse called Super Sunday did win the Coral Cup, didn't it? After running in the Supreme, I think, the year before as well. I think so. That would be a bit strange, but yeah. So yeah, we kind of called on that one for the pipe a little now. We had the entries, didn't we, for the Champion Chase, the Ryanair and the Gold Cup. Main takeaways for me from that: there were no Spillane's Tower in the Gold Cup. That surprised me. He just got the entry for the Ryanair, so that looks like where he's going if he goes to Cheltenham. And it would make sense for him to go to Cheltenham. So like I say, he's quite a young horse. I think he's 7, so he could contest the Ryanair this year, get some course experience into him, and then like maybe go on to the Gold Cup as an 8-year-old in 2026. It makes sense to send him, give him that experience if they're thinking Gold Cup for 2026. He's 7-1 generally, I think, 8-1 top price. Tempted. I am tempted. We like Spillane's Tower, don't we? Not bit the bullet just yet. I'll have a little think about that, but yeah, he's tempting. Gold Cup, there were no, I know the way you're thinking there either, which I thought that's great. You know, they've decided we're all on here for the national. Been having bits on this fella at 33s for a while now and got him for a nice amount. But then Gavin came out and said no, the national's not on his radar. I think because he said because of its jumping. Don't have to jump. As you've seen these nationals, you know, of late, they're just hurdles with bits of fluff on top, aren't they? You know, absolutely perfect for him. I don't know. I mean, that were coming from Gavin if he's had word from JP and the boys, and that's what they've said, then yeah, fair enough. But I maybe won't take it as read just yet, and we'll see when the entries come out, and if sort of Frank Berry and them boys say anything, I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't look likely at the minute for the national. I'm not sure where it'd be going. If it's not going Gold Cup, not going national, it's going Irish Gold Cup, isn't it? And then what? Don't know. Maybe Irish national. Maybe. Don't know. That confused the hell out of me. That I thought we were all on for the national there, but there you go. So as a result of all this with the JP, although Factor False has been given a Ryanair entry, you know, JP's only got Factor File and Corbett's Cross now in the Gold Cup. It would strongly suggest to me Factor File's going Gold Cup this year. Right, so that's all that. So then, yeah, maybe we won't ramble just as much as we're going to, because I'm kind of dying here. I'm sorry. But we'll see. Maybe I'll get better. We'll have a flick through some of this Dublin stuff anyway, and got a few more bets for you there. Right. So Here we go, Dublin races. It's called the Solicitor's Novice Hurdle now. It's the Grade 1, 2 mile, 6.5, isn't it? Yeah, it's previously known as like the Nathaniel Lacey. Right, here we got Final Demand in at 3-1 favourite. I do like this horse, you know, I like this horse. He showed plenty of pace to me. I'm very tempted to take some of this 3-1 for him. I've only had one bet so far for this meeting, but he looks classy to me. I like him. He's, you know, if he takes this out, he'd have the option there of the Albert Bartlett or the Ballymore. I like him more for the Ballymore. I think he's too good for the Albert Bartlett. I do. I think he's got too many gears. I did notice just before I did this video he's getting well back for the Albert Bartlett. Maybe. I mean, he won his 3 mile point to point, but he looked like the sort of horse to me you wouldn't mind dropping in trip rather than going up, and that's my only issue with this race for him. You know, it's a stiff enough track, Leopardstown, 2 mile 6.5 on here. It can be quite a slog, and like I say, I think this guy's got loads of class and gears. You know, I think his class might get him home here, whatever. And as such, I'm tempted with that 3-1. He's not being given an entry in the 2 mile race, so it looks fairly likely he'll be coming here. I might take a little of that 3-1, just a little bit. Now, if he wins here, depending what happens in the other novice, the 2 mile one, so Willie's got, I'll tell you what he's got in that. Willie's got K Doherty, Copet de Boards and Ballygunner Castle are all entered there. So kind of do all these at the same time. I think well, it's the Turners now, isn't it? Not the Ballymore for now. But I think his Turner's horse is either going to be Copet de Boards, Ballygunner Castle, or this fella Final Demand. Now, if Copet de Boards or Ballygunner Castle were to take out that 2 mile Grade 1, and because they've got Salvador Monday, I think they're almost certain to get stepped up to this Turners, and I think they'd go there as a short price favourite. You're looking at 6-4 type price, you know. I'd suggest but if none of those two win, if it's say K Doherty and Final Demand takes this out, then Final Demand could easily kind of drop back just slightly into that Turners. I'd suggest he's got the gears for it, I'm sure he has. So yeah, I like him for this race anyway. Just a little, you know, like I say, I think he's got a lot of class and speed, and I have him more as a Turner's type than an Albert Bartlett, but maybe I'm wrong, you know, we've only seen him the once, but we'll see. Now, second in here is Sound Victorious at 5s. He's not got the same speed and class, nowhere near as this Final Demand. But this is going to be one of our little bets today. We're going to have a point on this fella at 33s for the Albert Bartlett. Now, like I say, he ain't got the class and the speed of Final Demand, and I don't expect him to win this. So you might be thinking, well, why back him if you're kind of expecting him to get beat? And you know, you might be right, but 365 or 33's top price, which is a bit of a standout compared to the rest. You're struggling to get 25s anywhere else, so we'll punish him for that, eh? And we'll just have a point on him. I mean, he ran well at the track last year, sounds victorious. He's bred all for stamina. He's out presenting mare. You know, he should be ideally suited to the demands of an Albert Bartlett. He should be. He's all about stamina. He's a sort of horse to me. It'd be like hit him this year for the Albert Bartlett and then forget him, because I don't know if he's the sort that might kind of sour a little bit over time. You know, he don't look entirely in love with the game, but he could have an Albert Bartlett in him. He could, you know. Like I say, he should improve plenty for the stepping up to 3 mile. He'll probably run well here, but if he were to get beat 15 or so, it wouldn't really bother me. And I don't think you'd be looking at much bigger than 33s, to be honest. I think he's nearly nailed on to running the race, you know, unless he runs really badly. I think Willie's had it in his head all year to send this fella to the Albert Bartlett, so I think you've got an almost guaranteed runner for Willie at 33-1. And yeah, he just looks like the sort of horse that will love that sort of unique stamina test of that race, you know. So yeah, we're having a point on him at 33s. Super Sundays here could come here, you know, but did have a hard enough race last time. It might come a little quick. The Yellow Clays here, I'd imagine he's probably going to go straight to Cheltenham now. He's been busy, hasn't he? Jasmine Devoe, Blue Devassi. There's not much in here. They're in, and for that reason, I think the 3-1 Final Demand could be worth a little play anyway. I think he's much the classiest horse in here, I do. I can see him going off a fair bit shorter on the day. But for the ante-post point of view, as perverse as it sounds, we're going to have a point on Sounds Victorious. Because I just won't be sure where this fella's going, if it's Albert Bartlett or Ballymore. I'd prefer to see him go Ballymore. I said we'd ramble a bit, didn't we? I am now. Right then, so that's kind of that race. The enablers in here. He looks the obvious sort of Martin Pipe horse. I think I haven't looked at his form, but I think he's probably needs one more run now. He's a bit like Better Days Ahead, kind of looked the obvious Pipe horse, didn't he, last year for Gordon, and he's kind of looking that way, I'd suggest. Pardon me. Right. Yeah, Sounds Victorious. I mean, look, if ideally, in an ideal world, we want kind of Final Demand to win nicely, because we'll have our money on that, and we want Sounds Victorious to look kind of outpaced and then plug on into second, you know, 5 lengths behind or something. That'd be a great trial for the Albert Bartlett, that it would. And if they both went Albert Bartlett, I wouldn't be surprised to see him turn it around. I wouldn't. Right then we've got the big juvenile, haven't we, the grade 1. I meant to do a bit of research into this, and I know the Triumph winners has come from this race plenty of times anyway in recent years. Got Hello Neighbour and St Lucie 3-1 joint favourites here. Lady Vega Allen 5s. East India Dock, I don't think would come over, would he, for this? And then it's double figures bar. Right, this is where another one of our little bets comes in. I was chatting about it last week a bit, weren't I, St. Lucie? We're going to have a point on at 12 to 1 for the Triumph. That's with 365 Coles and Ladbrokes. It's just a point, you know. I'd say as like a cover bet, you want in kind of 13 points plus back. So a point at 12s is fine for a cover bet. We've got an option to build on that, haven't we? She could go in and bin. We can build on it and make her a main bet. Or we could go somewhere else and she's there as a nice cover bet. Now, I'm just a little bit keen to take on this Hello Neighbour. I just think, I looked at the Triumph betting. There's a horse called La Lumba there, 4 to 1. There's been massive gamble on that. That's kind of like a Willie de Who type thing, isn't it? We just don't know. We've not seen the horse. Yeah, crazy price really at 4. So at least we've seen these ones, you know. Hello Neighbour's like 7's best, and Lady Vague Allen's like 10's best. Now, I'd be tempted, like I mentioned before, I'd just favour Lady Vega Allen on their last runs over. Yeah, I'd just favour Lady Vega Allen over Hello Neighbour. But I think Paul will ride this St. Lucie, you know, this St. Lucie. So considering she only went down by a short head, and I think Paul's going to ride St. Lucie in preference. I might be wrong, but I think he will. She's got to be the one for me in this race, and if she takes this out, she's probably going to be favourite for the Triumph. So, yeah, she'd be my fancy here, and you know, like I mentioned, I did have a bit of change on her, so we'll put her up officially. We'll have a point on her at 12s. If it goes wrong, it's in the bin, but it's a point in it, you know. If it goes right, we'll be like, why didn't we have 3 or 4 points on it? You know, it's one of them, but makes sense for now anyway. I think to have a point on it. I did like her last time. Yeah, nothing between Lady Vega Allen and Hello Neighbour. I think Paul will go for this St. Lucie, which will probably see a go favourite. Irish Arkle, not going to chat about that much. Masborough 8 to 11, Ill Atlantic 3s. The betting similar to that on the day, and it probably will be. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see Masborough short and Ill Atlantic. Probably get a bit of 7 to 2 or something. I'll probably just have a little bit on Ill Atlantic. I've backed him both times this year. He's done well for me, so he doesn't owe me out. And I'll try him again, you know. But yeah, I couldn't confidently say he's going to be Masborough, you know. Irish Gold Cup, yeah, we're not going to chat too much about that today. As I mentioned before, I think Factor Foul will get closer to galloping this time. I think they'll ride him a little more positively. Hopefully he'll settle a bit better. And when he looked really good last year, when he kind of hit the front, you know, a fair way from home, he's sort of used that cruising speed he's got. If he's going to be in the teeth of the race taking galloping on like that, maybe there's a scenario he will get beat even further. But I think they've got to give him the chance. If it is like that, you know, if he rides him a little more aggressively, but he settles better, it'll be a good race. It will. If that happens and he gets well beat, then you're looking at Ryanair. I think he'll running closer than the 7 or so he got beat last time. Not saying he'll beat him, but I think he'll close that gap a little. Ladbrokes Novice Chase. Yeah, just, Ballyburn, Impera Pass are in there. Days Head. Dodson City, Champ Keeley. Champ Keeley won well last time. That looks a cracking race. I haven't got a firm opinion in that race just yet. Really, yeah, the 2 mile grade 1 novice hurdle. I want a little chat about this. We got Cade Doherty and Copet de Boards 11-4 joints here. Romeo Coolio 9-2. Salvador Mundy 8s. He had an hard enough race yesterday. He won't be running here. He'll be going straight to Cheltenham. You ought to know 10s. Ballygunner Castle 12s. We like him. Redemption Day 14s. And others. This is interesting, it is this, because of Salvatore Mundy, as I sort of already really mentioned. If Copet de Boards or Ballygunner Castle took this out for Willie, I think because of Salvador Mundy, Paul will want to ride that horse and Salvador Mundy. Salvador Mundy has to go supreme. I think Ballygunner Castle and Copet de Boards would eat another half a mile, so they'd be going there to the Ballymore as a really strong favourite. I think if one of those could take this out. Copet de Boards looked to have a massive engine, didn't he? He has to improve that jumping though. Not sure Romeo Coolio will even go here. He may well go straight to Cheltenham now. He's been busy early season, hasn't he? Kay Doherty. Now, if Kay Doherty wins this, then Kay Doherty does go supreme. The supreme's interesting at the minute. Do you know, if you've got Salvador Mundy backed at double figures, it's really tempting to take a book approach to this, looking at the prices. Workahead's getting well backed. He's going straight there. There's still a little bit of 20s about. So you could cover him at 20s. You've got the favourite on side at double figures. Like I say, I don't see a scenario where Copet de Boards or Ballygunner Castle go there as first string for Willie because of Salvador Mundy. I think they have to go up to the Ballymore. Okay, so yeah, you're struggling to see out coming from left field. So basically, say you got Salvador Mundy double figures backed, get this workhead on side if you like at sort of 20s, get Kay Doherty on side at top price 14s, and Romeo Coolio, who I think's around about 8-1. So yeah, you've got Mundy, Coolio, Kay Doherty, work ahead. I've got the supreme betting up here. I may have forgot one, but I'm not sure I have. I think you're struggling to see what else could be there, because you've got this unique situation with Salvador Mundy. Normally it's a nightmare with Willies, isn't it, you know? Now, Workahead's just going there after winning a maiden, which I don't really like. You like some sort of graded form. But, you know, I won't be putting a line through him. Romeo Coolio, I've said all season, haven't I? He's a sort I can sort of see hitting the bar without winning. I still kind of think that. So for me, now, I think the only possibilities I'm kind of seeing right now, there might be one I forgot, I don't know. But yeah, he's kind of Salvatore Monday or Kay Doherty. It's happening, it's happening. Yeah. So we're going to just have 1 point on Kay Doherty now at 14s, and that's with 365 Paddies and Betfair. I know some of you on already. Should have put it up at 50s, but yeah, we'll get it done now. Because if Kay Doherty comes here and takes this out well, may well go into favourite even over Monday, you know. Love the horse, like I say, just shade to do, man, just in its stride, the way it moves, it's big, tall, dark thing, you know. Cracking chase, you know, see it maybe, yeah, Arkle for me next year, that horse. If it's going to win an Arkle, it's going to be in a frame, you'd imagine, in a Supreme. So we'll have a point at 14s, okay. So yeah, just kind of smallish bets there really today. That the main bets in that 6.5 for the Mares Novice Hurdle, but I think they're all worth covering, those three. We've got Sounds Victorious 33s, St Lucie 12s, Kay Doherty 14s. You know, maybe one or two might end up in the bin, but yeah, they're covering some good possibilities, and they've got the potential to shorten up a lot, you know. Either of those last two could go off favourites for the races. And to be honest, they don't look that much depth in this race in Ireland, you know. Very much, I think, his dangers are from his own stable, Copet de Boards and Ballycunner Castle. But like I say, from a Cheltenham perspective, them two, to me, he would have to be going Ballymore after yesterday, you know. So Kay Doherty really is the only one I think that is going to take this out and then go on to the Supreme, you know, and be a big danger to the horse we've already backed. So yeah, we're going to cover him at 14s, okay. And the last race, just to touch on, well, there's a couple in that was the main thing I wanted to talk about, to be honest, today. Yeah, the Dublin Chase. This is the one bet I had, but the price has kind of gone now. I had a little bit of twos on Gaelic Warrior. You know, as I suggested, I thought, I fancy he's going to get this done. I do. And he means going this weekend, over to Ascot. Can't see Banbridge dropping back to 2 again. Marine National, no. El Fabiolo, I don't know if he's going to get there, but I suppose if he did, he'd be the danger. Solness, I think he'll turn it round with that horse this time, with that run under his belt. Found a 50, will probably bounce back and run well here. And I think he'll be short. Well, he's kind of gone now, hasn't it? But I fancy he's going to get that done anyway. Gaelic Warrior. We could do with El Fabiolo running, or, you know, but and Irish Champion Hurdle, Lossiemouth, 11-8 favourite. Brighter Days had 6-4 statement threes. Well, you wouldn't have predicted that betting at the beginning of the season, would you? Amsterdam 6s, Cog East 12s. Oh, that was another bit of news I meant to cover. In the Mares Hurdle, Jade Greaves is looking very, very doubtful to get there. I'd be half surprised if she even gets entered, to be honest. And I think Cargisi sounds like she's ready to rock and roll, like, you know. I think she's the one for those connections. Just got to see if he can settle her and get the trip, but if she does, wow, you know. Her form's looking gold-plated this year. So yeah, that was it really. We got them sort of bets in there. Yeah. Apologies today. It's not been the best, has it? I think we've got through one cigarette, been coughing all the time. I'm kind of dying. Just rambled a bit. You know, but we got a few little nuggets in there anyway amongst it all. This week, Energumene and John Bond looks a big race, doesn't it, in the Clarence House. I suppose being a Gaelic warrior sort of backer for Cheltenham for the champion chase, we could do really with John Bond there, couldn't we, I suppose. But like I say, he's always been disappointing that run before Cheltenham, so we'll see. Although I'm not big on Energumene either, really. I'll have to see what else is in there. You never know, there might be a turn up. I may manage to do a video Thursday or Friday. If I do, it'll be later on in the day. Okay, we'll just see how that goes. I'm not making any promises. If not, I'll see you again next week. All right. So thanks for your time. Thanks if you stuck that out, to the end. I do appreciate that. Hopefully, I'll be on better form next week. All right. Thank you. I'll see you again soon. Bye.